June 13th. Stop guessing. Start winning. We got all kinds of funny noises because we got DJ Mike. DJ Mike in his Russian outfit. Look at that. What's up with the sandals, brother? Is
that the summertime? It's about 100 outside.
I don't do sandals. I'm a grown man. It is about 100 outside. I was just talking to Brian Blessing. He was telling me about the humidity when he goes back home on the East Coast. He's, it could be 110 in Vegas behind you, and you just don't get that type of brutal, oppressive humidity that you get here. The question is, do you think that has any effect on the totals in baseball?
Of course it does.
Do you think laying the run line at home is a good idea?
No, it's not.
If you look at some of these huge favorites, guys get crushed laying the run line because they're trying to steal on the value. But as I said a couple weeks ago, the best bet in MLB is the plus 1.5. Turning a dog into a favorite, not turning a true favorite into a dog. The reality is it's over 60% if you actually lay more wood because you're getting spotted at 1.5. So think about it. You could arbitrage. Today is Tuesday, June 13th. Yesterday, for instance, Boston was laying 231 against Philadelphia. They won the game 6-5, right? You could have played Boston and laid the 235 and then played the plus 1.5, but then they would also have been a favorite and win both sides of the game. When you talk about arbitrage, let's go back to not yesterday's game where we went 2-0, taking the over in the first quarter and the over at halftime in the Cleveland game, Warriors game. Congratulations to the Warriors. I actually ate dinner last night, and I'm not going to say his name. He was a Ravens player. A Ravens player with a small $20 million contract was sitting next to me at the bar. TS. And he was rooting for Cleveland. I don't know if he's friends with LeBron, but put it this way. Everybody likes to go for the underdog. Everybody likes to see the series be extended. People think there's a conspiracy theory they're going to get to Game 7 because it'll be better for the NBA. Look, if you were going to play Cleveland, you had to take them in the first quarter and then knew that they were going to basically get the wind knocked out of their sails because if you can't make field goals and the other team's constantly making threes, you're in trouble. LeBron missed his first two, then the other dude missed the first two, and then they came down, it was 3-3-3. And it wasn't that hard for the game to go over when you got defenseless basketball. But what's really important is to understand when you're looking at these games, streaks are still in full effect. The Yankees are on a 6-game winning streak. Double checking here. How about that? The World Cup qualifiers. Action every day of the World Cup.
It's every day. It's every nation is right now trying to get into that World Cup next summer. And they're very heavily trying to get to the next level. It's like do or die, just like the World Cup, because if you don't make it to the World Cup, it doesn't matter. Remember, the World Cup is only 32 teams, of which there's hundreds in the world that are trying to get in.
Dodgers are on a 4-game winning streak. Yankees are on a 6-game winning streak. Those are your two biggest streaks. What you'll notice is, like I said, the edge has been to the home teams in MLB. But it doesn't mean you're going to lay 200 on the road. You're going to have days where the favorites just look like the right side, but the reality is favorites can't be the right side long-term because they only win 55%. And this is the problem, is that people call Mike up here and they talk about 1 day or 2 days of action. And you're watching this and you might say, well, now that the NBA playoffs are over with, I'm done till football. So you're done. So you're done for the next 13, it's June 13th, and you're done for 13 weeks. Let's be very clear. The first NFL football game tips off on September 10th. It's 13 weeks from today. So you're going to be done for 13 weeks because you care about what shape the ball is, or are you actually in the business of actually making money and not worrying about what shape the ball is, whether it's international soccer whether it's first 5 inning, whether it's the full game, or arbitrage. So a lot of people, if they watch me on Snapchat at John Syndicate, they know I hit both sides in Game 3 at halftime by taking Cleveland plus 360 on the money line and the Warriors minus 8. But obviously had different amounts of money on them. So a perfect example is you play $100 on the Warriors minus 8, 110 to win 100, and then you play $30 plus 360 to ensure a small profit, because the way it was going to break down in Game 3 was either Cleveland was going to keep pushing to win that game and win the second half, or Golden State was going to actually come back and win the game and blow them out and win outright. And so this goes back to understanding there's a number on a game and there's a line on a game, and you can actually trade them. You will hear different people around the world and on the internet talking about they have access to this algorithm, this source of information. Algorithms and sources of information are fine, but the reality is you have to be not one-dimensional. I don't deal with one source. I'm the syndicate insider. When I say stop guessing and start winning, it doesn't mean I have a crystal ball here. The secret is in the money management. The secret is in having a huge amount of sources of information to pull from. So if you want to deal with the number 8th field most gambler in the world, when you look him up on Google, Dominic Larigio, who took the bank for millions of dollars throwing the dice and applies that same math to sports betting, you call me. If you want to deal with the sharpest blackjack minds in all of the world, such as Don Johnson and his crew featured on A&E Network, taking him down for millions, but apply that same algorithm to horse racing and sports, you call me. If you want to deal with former odds maker and line maker extraordinaire featured on 60 Minutes, Kenny White, who puts up the strongest number on any single game and every year at Super Bowl, he's the guy they call to give the input in all the networks around the country, you call me. If you want to deal with the sharpest hockey mind in the world and is obsessed with hockey like no other, Brian Blessing, as featured on 1400 AM 5 days a week, sportsbookradio.com, lunchtime with the line makers, you call me. If you speak Russian, you call Mike.
That's right.
Or any other language. But here's the thing. Mike does take the calls when you call me. I don't take the calls. I have the number out there, and you see me on the videos, but I'm traveling and I'm flying around the world. If you follow my exploits on Snapchat, dealing with the guys that claim they have the edge. I want to see them eat, breathe, and do this for a living, and then basically bring that to market for you to be successful. But this is the thing we try to overcome, especially in the doldrums of summer. This is the hardcore time of the year, supposedly, that only the serious bettors play, the long baseball season. But the truth of the matter is, if you watch all of our videos, this is the most profitable time. Football in the hierarchy is the hardest sport to beat, followed by basketball. Then you can take it to totals, and then you have baseball, and then you have hockey. But if you ask any professional sports gambler, what is the easiest sport to pull money out of the sports market with, they're going to always tell you the same thing, baseball. But when you call here and you talk to Mike and game 4 rolls last night and the game's over, how many people will tell you, I don't like baseball. I'm going to call you back in 13 weeks on this 13th of June. Really? So if you had a high-end stock in the Dow and you only trade stocks on the NASDAQ, you're not going to take that stock tip on the Dow? It's absurdity. If there's a line on a game, either side could win. Just because he's 30, how old are you? 34, and I'm 44 doesn't mean I can't do a gunshot like him too. You got to understand this. We literally, man, what's the story? What are you eating?
A lot.
A lot. He eats a lot. I had to get him to stop eating just to do this video. Tell these guys about the texts you get as games are being played in-game. You know, I call it in-game wagering. I like to call it in-game texting. We should do a service profile of the guy that's freaking out at halftime or in the 3rd inning or the 4th inning or the 5th inning because he expects to win a game. You're a baseball player or you're an NBA player. You expect to win, not the game, you expect to win every quarter of the game.
Well, that and what seems to be the main issue that goes on is nobody practices the money management that we practice.
What do you mean? I got guys calling you up saying,
they don't want to bet based on their bankroll, and the bottom line is they're underfunded. If you want to bet big and you want to play correct, have a properly funded account. Don't try to bet half of your account a night and wonder why you get blown out, because we don't do that. So the reality is, and the motto, have a properly funded.
So what is the biggest risk somebody should take in their account?
10%.
What's the average risk?
1 to 5%.
Right. So that means that in layman's terms, if a client has $1,000 in their offshore account, or they're just walking to the casino with $1,000 in their pocket. So let me just do this. This is not to impress anybody because this is chunk money. But if I walk in to the casino, let's do this correctly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I asked them to give me clean bills. All right, so we got right from the bank, directly from the bank. All right. I don't like to use debit cards and all that bullshit. All right, so we got $1,000. How much money should I bet on a 1% game? Can you even do that?
No.
What do you mean? I shouldn't bet 100?
You better split this up.
Oh, because the reality is, how much should I really be betting on that game?
$10.
Well, let me find a 10. All right, 2 5s. So you're saying that if I walk into a casino in Vegas with this, I should only wager with this?
That's correct.
But why?
Proper money
I
management.
want to bet $200-300 a game, man.
You better have.
I want to hit the 18 parlay.
You want to bet
I want to
$200
double this money in 4 hours.
Go to the blackjack table. Just put it all in one hand. Same shot.
So you're saying that me, because I talked to a guy yesterday and he says, I don't bet 20 a game. I bet 100, 200, 300 a game. I said, well, how much you got to work with? He said 1,800.
They wonder why the bookmakers get paid all the time.
Do you want to practice proper money management and understand this doesn't impress anybody? This impresses a lot of people and scares the living crap out of any successful bookmaker who's used to taking your money. Because if you understand that you're supposed to be wagering this when you have this, you have now just been given the free secret to your success. Worrying about names of teams, worrying about win-loss percentage doesn't matter. Each stock has a different value, and each game has a different price. If you want to bet 100, 200, 300, or let's just say 500 a game, how much should he be walking in with the casino with?
You better have
50,000?
Better have 50,000.
And I don't carry 50 in my wallet. Understand this has to be broken down to this. Now, if I had a huge, crazy game that I loved and the information was right and lined up, what is my biggest bet I'm going to make? $100. That's it. Not 110, 100. I'm going to risk $100. That's my max. And if the game loses, I'm going to have 900 left. And then tomorrow, if I had a 10% play, I'm going to risk $90. A European trader told me once, why is it that Americans don't include the VIG in their trades? You tell them to bet 10% of their bankroll, they want to bet 11%. I said because they're worried about what they're worried about what they're winning. They're not worried about what they're risking. So the difference is when you become a risk-based trader as opposed to a losing gambler, then you understand the definition when I say stop guessing, start winning. Call here to open your mind and learn how to earn. Learn how to do this for a living. Understand names of teams don't matter. This is your June 13th report. International soccer, that's your guy. He knows every league. Didn't come to this country till he was 8 years old. You didn't even know what American football was.
No. Not till I got here a few years in.
It wasn't even the minute you dropped, huh? So you have to understand, the man is 34, but this first 8 years, he didn't even live here, and it was all soccer. And your dad's a soccer player? Everything.
Huge.
Yeah, exactly.
Huge fan.
Huge
Ex-player.
fan. Right. You guys may not like it. You want to make wagers at $2.45 every day, Monday through Friday. That's $11.45 in Las Vegas. Pick up the phone. Call them. 1-800-880-7507. Stop guessing. Start winning.